Hi guys, I'm ExactChaos and welcome back to another episode of Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. Okay, so in the last episode what we did is we kind of planned our journey a little bit, not like the full journey, but we planned our journey a little bit around our research, and we're definitely needing to get our waste separation and our recycling done a little bit better. We're also kind of embarking on the whole secret police and government loyalty path over here, but generally things are pretty good. Our average happiness is not bad at all. And I think if we had a few more work people here, we could actually see what our general productivity is. But I think most of the time our productivity isn't too bad. But I don't really know. We have the overlay that we can have a look at, which is this one. And I would like to see. So I do wonder, and I think I kind of saw that last time around, that productivity only shows up when it's not actually productive. And this, I think, is more a overall productivity of the building due to how many people are there and stuff. These are switched off, right? So that's why these get a bit more, but it's still, nowhere near the 170 max workers. And so that's why you see this kind of productivity. So we can still up productivity here a fair bit. I think that's the general feel that I have for it at the moment. Where we have, so that should be much less, right? Anyway, doesn't matter. We'll get to that a little bit later. We've got sufficient guards here, really. And one of the things I need to do is probably down this a little bit. So we'll do something like that. So we'll get a little bit more food and a little less like clothing and stuff in there. Okay, so what's going to happen in this episode? We're going to continue to expand not expand this area. We're going to see it to try and get more and more workers here, so that hopefully in that process we get more and more exports. That's really the idea. And we're going to keep an eye on our general fertility, which I am a little bit worried about sometimes. What's this fertility look like? So so I just want to keep an eye on fertility as we go. So what we can also do is we can have a look at fertility like this. So you can see we've got the reasonable fertility. I do wonder whether that has anything to do with our rate of fertilization or not. Something we still need to really figure out how we're doing it. All of this is burning. Okay. So we're not seeing. Okay, we do need an export facility for this because somehow it's not coming to this location. I do wonder. Yeah, we stopped doing this for the time being, and we don't have. We shouldn't have any workers here. We could have workers there. We just needed very few workers, really. Let's just make it like 2 workers. And maybe that'll even be sufficient. Even this is just 2 workers, and it's more than sufficient. Now, one thing is, so this doesn't have any mixed waste. This one has a lot of mixed waste that needs to be exported that's somehow not getting to where it needs to go. So what I need to do is provide a little bit of a facility where we can just kind of drop that off. Okay, so that's going to be the first thing. So I would like a large dump, right? So mixed waste, large dump, and I would just like to dump the ash over there. If we use this facility, no, it's just saying we're mixed waste, so it's not actually going to give us. You know what? I'm not using that at the moment. Instead of building something else, and what I'll do actually, I'll just. We're not using that at the moment. So, we're not using it. So what I'll just do, I'll just swap these around. So that I don't think, it is going back that way. Okay, it's good to see that. That's super interesting. So it goes in there, no problem, but doesn't come this way? That's really interesting. Okay. So the idea is I'm going to sever that. So let's quickly sever that. That's interesting. Okay. Let's sever those two. Okay, then I'm going to grab this guy. Can I say, let's pause it. Let's change its depot to there. Okay. And now the idea is really just come and pick that up there, load it, and come and unload it over here, please. And do that. Perfect. So I think now I'll just quickly want to empty that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to empty this guy over there. And hopefully the ash will dissipate in that space. Now we've got these two things here. It needs to be deconstructed, but it hasn't been deconstructed. And what I'm wondering is if I cancel deconstruction, whether it becomes usable again. Or cancel demolition. It does become usable again. That is interesting. Okay, good. Another good lesson for us. I'm going to put it to demolition, and I'm going to say suspend demolition. And over here, I'm going to say suspend demolition. This guy should be emptying this spot out completely. Excellent. Taking it back over here, where we can then go ahead and burn it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the mixed waste that we're generating here, which is getting a little bit extreme. I'm just going to bring them over here. And then hopefully what it will do is it'll dissipate over time. Ooh, we can store different things. It's all mixed waste though, right? Yeah, because what we might be able to do is get a sorting facility moving through there. I've no idea if that will work or not. It's something that we can kind of slowly test over time. So as soon as this guy drops it off, I'm just going to reassign it with a new route to come and drop off over here, to drop this mixed waste over there. Okay, perfect. So you're done. So now what I'm needing to do is you still want to go to there. Let's cancel this one. Oh, we need 2 stations. Let's pop it in here and we say load up on mixed waste, right? Well, let's just say load up, forget about it. And then here, you're going to unload instead of load. And then what we can do is we cancel that one. There we go. And we send you there instead. Perfect. So let's quickly see. So it'll do a few trips of this. So I'll let it do that. I just want to see that it is actually doing its thing. Love the little details on this. Okay, yeah, this is pretty close. We're just catching it just in time. Now it should be loading these. Yes, there we go. Okay, so that gives us a little bit more room to maneuver. This has got mixed waste, which is predominantly ash. So my understanding is, or what I've kind of heard and seen in some of the other people's playthroughs, is that the ash kind of goes away over time, but no idea exactly how you manage that. So we still have to kind of figure it out. Incinerator is doing a pretty good job. I'm pretty keen on getting power from incineration so that we can kind of offset, well, get rid of our waste on the one hand, but then at the same time, we can also generate a little bit of, or take less money from the border, basically, or from power sales at the border. So this one should hold, about 100 tons. So it's about 3 times this size. So I'm still not sure it's going to be really super effective, but that's kind of the idea. So now we've got this in there, and it's still just the same thing. We can manage what goes in here, but it's all going to be mixed waste, right? The composition of the mixed waste is the piece that's a little bit more interesting to me and a little bit more difficult to manage. Probably going to pick up some fuel now. It's just slowly burning things up, filling up its mixed waste. And then the thing that I was kind of wondering is, will this slowly reduce over time or only in a dump? We'll keep an eye on it. It's testing, right? We're testing a few different things. Okay, so now the next thing that we're also going to need to do, conscious that the town can go to about there. So where do we build our construction industry? I was kind of initially thinking here, because here we will be able to do gravel quarry. Ooh, very good gravel quarries over here. But if we switch the topography on, we can see that we've got this whole little mountainside issue over here. And of course, we have plans to ultimately bring maybe a bit of rail through here. We don't want to build it up against the town here either. So, just kind of wondering, maybe we do it on this side, because I think we'll have reasonable gravel right here. So maybe this here becomes our construction industry. I think it's a little bit more useful that way. Okay, so let's start thinking about this. First things first, we've got gravel situated in this area. Now let's try and get a few reasonable sources going. 90. Let's start planning that out. I want it on top of it. 60, 66 seems to be a pretty good number here. Add something there, 66. And what else do we have? Yeah. Something on this side. Oh, research is done. Let's quickly pop over to that. Aha, secret police. So, popping in here now. We've done the favorite. It's party. It has to be party member, right? So we can now build secret police. Our money is dropping, so we need to be a little bit mindful of it. Let's make a start on... Yeah, the rail distribution certainly not a thing yet. We're definitely nowhere near tourism. Fire prevention would be nice, but really, let's just get the party member pieces going. While we're at it, let's have a look at what's happening over here. It's close to getting waste separation going. Okay, back to the action with... That's pretty slow action, to be honest, with the work that we're doing. Yeah, some of these are pretty low. I'm kind of wondering, maybe we start off with just two. That we can go through that pretty quickly. Now, the next thing we need to do is gravel processing. I'm not going to do any of this tiny processing pieces. What? Is that new? We can drop off gravel? Hang on. So does this guy actually generate something? That is interesting. So ultimately what we could possibly do, if we're saying we'll put gravel... Okay, so let's start off with gravel, something like this, right? And what we can do is we can plan out... We can plan out a truck drop-off here to be able to do this a little bit more effectively, right? Not that we need to build it straight away, but what we can do is we can leave it planned in there and just not build it straight away. So what am I looking for? Truck aggregate unloading. So if we were to do something like that, or even on this side, that would make things a little quicker and more effective. I think this should work. So let's do that. Okay, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to say suspend this construction. Not that it's going to happen anyway. I'm going to have to be cautious in terms of how I do everything. Okay. So that's gravel, right? And then from there, gravel goes into what all of it. This is a constant puzzle, this one for me. So we need gravel for concrete. We need gravel for cement as well. We've got 2 cement plants. Oh, a smaller one and a slightly larger one. Ooh. Got a big storage. That's got a smaller storage. So let's see this. So this is a big cement plant. This is one of the modded ones that's now made it into the game versus the the standard, the original one. Let's have another look at that one. So maybe we should start off with the smaller one. I think cement, from a cement perspective, a daily production of 80 tons of cement is going to be more than sufficient. So let's just go off with the smaller one. Oh, but this one uses less steel. Going to be less costly to build this one. More mechanical components though, but it's very little in terms of less steel. And not okay. So let's do that. Actually, we can have this is going to be quite easy. We can just click this button and see what this one cost us. 191. Yeah, definitely need another loan. 252. So yeah, that's not. So that's a no-brainer. We're going to go with this one instead. And the idea is going to try and limit. Okay, I might have to kind of jig things around a little bit. So the idea is really that we do something like that. It's okay. And then we'll have, interesting, then we'll have cement coming out on the other side that we need to run with the dry bulk piece. That's okay. This is generating a fair bit of pollution, right? Not that much. So I think we're okay with, yeah, the idea is really this should be the place. How much pollution does the gravel processing generate? Also a little bit. I might move it down just a little bit. Okay, but let's just see what else we need to fit in before, because we might have to move a lot of these things a little bit. Okay, so that's cement. Then cement goes to concrete plant. So the concrete plant needs both cement and gravel. And if I zoom in, yes. So if I zoom in, something like that could work, okay? But we also need an asphalt plant, which needs gravel and bitumen. Okay, that's okay. So even that should have enough room, but we also need to pick up gravel directly. And this guy doesn't need gravel, but this guy needs gravel as well. And we don't have that ready to go yet. So we definitely need a bit of a gravel conveyor system. So what I'm thinking is, okay, now let's move it now, because now we're finding out it's a little bit too close here. So let's clear this one out. Clear that one out. We'll clear this one out. So that still has to stay there. And what I'm thinking, maybe the gravel processing we can put up against the road here. So let's move that in. Not the button that I'm looking for, this one. I can speed it up a little bit though, so we can see about making some money. Okay, so let's try that again. So if we were to put gravel processing in this area, I think that's far enough away. And then we can do the rest of the industry on the other side of that road. Okay, research done. So I'm gonna quickly go and have a look at that. Okay, that's giving me waste sorting. Now the next piece from that, okay, let's pop it. Let's pop it in and have a look over here. Okay, so if we look at waste sorting, we now have waste separation edification. So before I do that, if I go here, let's go this. Can we... No edification. So we need edification for them to be able to sort at the source, right? So I'm not too sure what the other waste piece is done. So metallic scrap, steel recycling, aluminum recycling, plastics recycling, and waste to energy. That's the important one. So I'm going to do this one, then waste to energy. So let's get that one going. So edification done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and speed it up a little. Give me a few more people there. Yeah, just try and make it a little bit quicker. How's that going? Slowly. So it's a slow process. Okay, back to this. How are we doing with money? So our export vehicles are all out, but somehow I'm not seeing any exports. Maybe it's It just takes too long to get to the border. Now, what's going on over here? See, I'm kind of not sure the fertilization piece is actually working. Do we need to sowing, growing? Do we need to fertilize? Some fields have low fertility, but we've got fertilizer, right? Ah, here we go. Ah, there we go. So let's up that to say 80% fertility. Right, so does that mean oh, sowing is probably underway? No, sowing is underway over here. So let's say this is big field 6. If I go here, big field 6 is sowing, but that's 0. And do we have tractors available, or they're all doing something? Yeah, not doing anything. So why would you not be... Well, let's drop that down back again to 50, because clearly that's not the thing. So when will it... Why is it storing... Oh, it's storing fertilizer. That's interesting. But it's got liquid fertilizer, right? So why isn't it using... I thought we saw it using it. I am perplexed. There's some trucks. So we're not seeing fertilizer being actually used. That's the thing. Is there a glitch somehow? Yeah, it's all about harvesters and trucks. But I don't see us getting anything moving with regards to the fertilizer. Should I up the fertilizer? I mean, it should be able to use it, right? How much fertilizer do you need for a field? Maybe it's more. So if we go to our imports, we are importing fertilizer. So let's just go and up the fertilizer number. Let's go to 30%. We'll get a few more fertilizer loads and see if that does make a difference. Okay, now back to this. We now need to go from there to cement. So let's go cement plant. We're going to grab this guy. I believe we should find it workable. Let's just see. Yeah, there we go. So let's... it really doesn't want to cross this road, does it? Yeah, okay. So what that means is we could do something like this. Okay. And even up it a little bit more. So if we were to say do a little something like that, just want to see if it works. And we then go back to cement. Cement. Now we should have it work, right? Yeah, quite comfortably so. So now we can fill the cement up with gravel. Now the question is really, do I want to go and build the extra facilities there? We don't need this. This is not one of those things that you would like to have auto-filled. So yeah, so auto-filling the cement plant with gravel is less critical than other instances. There's other stuff that we may want to do that with. So yes, being a little bit, looking a little bit double and triple measuring before we're actually doing something is kind of par for the course, I would say. So we'll do that, push it out a little bit further away. Maybe that gives us enough height to get the cement plant across the line. Not at all. It really just doesn't want to go over unless it's much, much further away. So ultimately, that is going to be ending up costing us way more. The question does then say, do we just run down this side? No, we do need to cross this road to the other side. So, in that terms, so let's do that again. And let's say, well, now we've got that road there. Let's turn that road and bring it in this way. We don't need another connection, right? So we'll just do it there, and we'll mindful that we might want to double up that road at some point, but so let's just do it there and then come in from there. Okay. We'll get there. We'll get there. So if I flip this around, so we'll have our road on this side. Yes, that's good. So now at least we can. I kind of want to do it right over there. So let's just do that. Okay, so bear in mind we will need workers in this area. Okay, so what we'll do is this thing will kind of turn into that direction, eventually tie back up to that road there. Okay, good. Now from there we will need the cement plant. Keep it nice and tight because we'll need workers here. Do we have a worker access there? We do. So we keep it nice and tight. So we reduce our. Okay, there we go. Hang on. Sorry. I'm going to move it again because not everything, just that one, because I want to make sure this goes out a little bit so that we have ample room for. Don't do that. There we go. So let's do that. That should work. Now, the next piece is we need to get the concrete going. I think concrete will be. Most effectively done something like this. Okay, yeah, probably most effectively done something like that. But in order to make that work, we do need to start running these guys out a little bit. So I'm thinking we need a little something like this, and we also need we might need multiple. Okay, so if we were to say do this, and do we have the option of doing these with just the walkways? No, I don't think so. Okay, so let's just do that. Try and keep it pretty high so that we can have paths and the likes going underneath it. Okay, so something like that. Okay, so that gives us access. Now, this will also keep the concrete one full. So if we go concrete, Okay, so if before we do that, I might do a dry bulk conveyor. Oh, the dry bulk conveyor can't go up and down? Interesting. If we do this dry bulk conveyor there, come back to the concrete one. Concrete, looking pretty good actually. Concrete can't be exported, so that's kind of the end of that. But this should still be within a reasonable walking distance. Okay. Now we will be able to continue that or go that side, but I think we'll continue that along this way and have a prefab factory in this general location here somewhere. Okay, so we'll leave a little bit of room there. We'll bring this guy down. Maybe we'll flip it around to have the road on the inside. Yeah, I think that's probably a little bit better. So we'll do that. That will provide access to our prefab, I think. Okay. And then what is the next thing we need in the construction queue? We need asphalt. Now, asphalt also needs asphalt and the brick factory. Okay, so those two need coal. Okay, but the first one is going to need some work is this one over here. But it's needing coal, right? Oh, no, it needs bitumen. This one needs bitumen. So something like that over here. And then down on the other side, we're going to need the brick factory. And we can work in the wood anywhere, really. Maybe even in a different location. Probably don't need it in this very location because it doesn't need gravel. These all need gravel somehow to work. Brick factory actually does not. So if I grab the brick factory. What? It needs coal. But it doesn't have a... Oh, it does have a coal connection. So if I were to then say... Yeah, I'm kind of wondering getting it into the same facility up on this side. So if I were to do maybe something like that. Yeah, okay. So let's leave that spot there for the prefab factory, which is, I think, is a pretty big one. And then this one here for bricks. Okay, so if we do kind of bricks over there, prefab needs to go in here somewhere, plus a storage needs to go in there. So let's make sure to add the storage. We'll just go with normal sized open storage. Yeah, that's not, I just hate that. Let's just grab, we can't do open storage here, can we? Yeah, it doesn't like it. Doesn't like it unless I get a modded one. Doesn't like that. So the other option for open storage is something like this, which just feels a little like overkill to me. Why do they have to have these poorly connected areas? That one, we'll just have to do this one. Got the rail in this area. So something like that, right? Not necessarily going to build all of that. We want to get to prefab also. Now, what we also need to do is we need to drop off aggregate stuff here. So aggregate storage, let's say a small one is going to be fine. So aggregate storage, if we drop off coal, so something like this. So we're going to drop off coal on this side and we're going to run. Yeah, I think that's going to work actually. If we say that's our coal storage, in order to make coal work, we're going to why doesn't that want to? That's interesting. It doesn't want to connect up. Go up a level just to make sure that we're keeping them nice and high. Okay, so if we do that, this should connect, right? There we go. That will connect. So I'm just gonna go and say do that. And then the next one I want is go back to the construction business and say, grab me. Our money is still dropping, right? Yeah, we're struggling. Even in April, well, it's actually pretty close to self-sufficiency. I'll have a look at April now. Actually, let's have a quick look at April. Just, I do digress, but let's have a quick look at April. I'd be quite keen to see what, so our exports was food and alcohol, no clothing exports, but the food exports at least looks pretty good. Okay, and then if we look at imports, we had no clothing imports, right? So it was a chemical import. So we're actually using a fair bit of chemicals. A fair bit of chemicals. Fuel is now starting to ramp up a little bit. But I think overall, we're okay. We're really close to getting things working. There's still no... So basically what's happening is we're just waiting. Yeah, this is dropping pretty quickly. This is sowing. Right, none of them seems to be fertilizing. Unless it's only fertilizers. There, oh, it is fertilizing. It only fertilizes. Ah, okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go this back up. So it only fertilizes after, say, after it's sowed. Okay, so it needs enough fertility to sow. So it's kind of leaving the field kind of renew by itself. Okay, so that's okay. And then once it's sowed, planted its next round of crops, and from there it becomes a thing. Okay, this guy would like actually. Okay, I actually don't need Who needs coal? Hang on. Prefab needs coal. Prefab needs cement and gravel. Ooh, hang on. Who needs coal? Ah, you need coal. And how much storage do you have internally? 75 tons, and versus you have also 75 tons. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to do this. And coal really... Oh, is this building? No, it's not. It just looks funny. Looks like it's building. Anyway, keep it going. Okay, and did we have research done? No, we didn't. Already sorted that out. Okay. So we don't need this for coal. Not over here, at least. Kind of... How do I go about placing this stuff? And I don't need that straight away either. I'm kind of contemplating that we could just do it on this side, right? Then we just need to make sure that we can bring our workers much closer. So if that's where we're going to go, we could certainly get the brick factory on this side. Yeah, that's not a problem. And then we can run... So if I do this, we can run it in here, right? And we can put the brick factory in there, and we can put coal somewhere in the middle. So now it's a little tight here on this side, but I think it can still work. So instead of doing that, and then we'll just have to do multiple storages, or just make sure we area distribute to proper places. And that's probably the right thing to try and do, actually. So if we were to say, I don't think flipping this will be beneficial. If we were to do that, it should give us a reasonable spot for coal. Yeah, that's okay. It can draw. So if we then go, that explosives factory. Okay, then where is my coal storage? We'll do a coal storage kind of over there. Interesting that it doesn't want to automatically connect to. If we were to do this, just like that. Okay, so we can be able to drop stuff off over here. We can then connect this up here. Come on. Sorry, this one. There we go. We'll put that in place. And so now we can get coal here. That's all we need there. This will have to have its own various storage facilities. We'll need to make sure that we've got a little bit of walking paths through here. So now I'm kind of contemplating, we need a bus stop of sorts in this area. And then question is really, do we need to run gravel? We need prefab. Yeah, so prefab is still going to go in here. And then we need gravel pickup by vehicle. So let's get rid of that guy. And this guy, we don't need these brick factories. They're coal factory, brick factory. We don't need that. So what we'll need to do instead is get ourselves kind of happy with yeah, I think I'd like to do something like this. Okay, so we'll make that happen. We'll need to pick up gravel directly. So gravel truck aggregate loading. We'll need to pick up gravel directly over here. This has a bit of room there. We will need, we could move it a little bit more. Yeah, prefab needs to go in this area. And that kind of does the trick, right? That's kind of a good starting place, at least, until we can get a little bit more action going. Okay, so that's our starter construction industry. So we do need, let's look at a bus stop. Now, the other option that we could do is do trams. But I think, actually, no, this doesn't need a lot of workers, so bus stop's going to be just fine. So yeah, building it here, I think will get us wherever we need to go, right? Let's do that. Building it there. Yeah, so this path can just run straight through there, and it's kind of, yeah, a little bit of a dead end. Or we even have a look at potentially running it. Oh yeah, it can run straight through there. That's good. That's good. Now, okay, that's the idea. We should be able to get workers everywhere without even a lot of effort, to be honest. Without even a lot of effort. Okay. Let's have a quick look here. Oh, research is done? We finished edification? Oh, it must have just finished. 24 May. Yeah, a couple of days ago. Okay, now let's burn this message. Like it. What else do we have? New vehicles. An interesting vehicle. Can't remember that one. Okay, now we go here. Are we now sorting? So now we can get biological waste. I'm not sure they'll be able to sort much of the other stuff. I'm not sure we can sort. If we go here, got hazardous waste, and probably do an extra one of biological waste, right? I don't think these actually generate anything. So we'll have to have a look and see. So it should tell you what it generates, right? It doesn't. So it doesn't actually tell you that. If I go in here and have a look at the hospital, for instance, it really doesn't say. Right? Oh, this one. Ah, here we go. Ah, mixed waste and hazardous waste. This one does mixed waste only. So I don't think it can actually sort, but somehow it does sort biological waste. Now the question is, okay, hang on. So where... The question for me is really, can we get it to do anything else? Or can we get it to, get its metal waste or plastic waste sorted? If I go back, oh, this guy, I should move this guy back. So how many do we have here now? Okay, we're at 49%. One of them is 2.67. So what I would like to do is just leave that one, send it back to, almost leave that in there, send it back here. Don't actually need it, but I don't want it to run constantly. So what does this look like? Mixed waste. We are getting biological waste, burnable waste, other waste. So we're really not getting much, right? I don't know what other waste is, but we're not getting much in the line of things like metal scrap and the likes. So we'll just leave it there. These guys should be doing their thing. What's going on over here? Oh, look at that. Haha. So that means, okay, hang on. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to drop this down to, say, 40, because we don't need that much. And I'm going to drop this down to, say, 10. Okay. And then I'm going to up this a little bit more to, say, 50. And this one to 50 as well. Okay. So hopefully that means we're going to start producing way more clothing. Okay, so now actually our export should be, getting a lot better, because we're now actually exporting clothing as opposed to all of the other stuff. So these vehicles are just constantly doing their thing back and forth to the border. And it's not good enough, right? We need a bigger distribution facility if we want to keep doing it this way, or go to rail. But I think rail, we want to see ourselves be a little bit more profitable before we actually head off to rail. Okay, and that's obviously costing us a bit of fuel in the process of actually getting there. Okay, so that's that. The next thing I want to have a look at is waste to energy. And I also need to have a look at the study on concrete. Study on concrete might be a little bit better for us. Yeah, let's start the study on concrete first. Oh, this guy isn't actually connected to one of our stuff. And so at the moment, it's getting too much. And it needs a small one? Yeah, it needs a small one. That's why we've got an issue here. It's only the one truck. So we can buy another truck, or we can buy another. Let's just buy another truck, to be honest. Give me one more of these small container trucks. Here we go. And hopefully we'll just move. So we just got a couple that's struggling a little bit. So we don't want too many of them. So we might change that over time. But at the moment it's doing okay. We don't have any uneducated workers, which is awesome. Let's quickly have a look over here. Yes, so our degree educated is slowly creeping up. Average productivity is okay. And then our education levels are reasonable. And did our culture come up? Our culture is coming up. So the additional cultural facilities that I've built is definitely causing some... What? This doesn't connect to any... Yeah, this is the constant problem, it seems. It's okay. So we should get a truck come in here quickly. Anything else? Oh, we just had the one there. And is that accessible from everywhere? Who can walk here? These guys can't walk there. So really what we need to do is get a little bit of a path going on this side as well. Let's quickly get that going. Normal path, yeah, that'll work. So I'm kind of tempted to, yeah, through there might be the easiest way, to be honest. So if we do this, so if we say we'll do that, tie that in over there. Run us through here. And run us through there. And it's going to do that. So now we should have more people able to walk here. Only barely, but we'll upgrade some of these paths as we go. Got a building fire. Hopefully, yeah, in an area where it'll be manageable. Here they come. Excellent. Good. Okay. So what's our research looking like over here? Party member rankings, I think. Favorite party members. And that's the concrete study doing its thing. Okay, so that's good. I haven't actually built this out yet, but I'm thinking maybe we'll give it one more shot when the concrete comes in. Yeah, look at that. May didn't look too great. So if we have another look at last month, which is May. So here, we had a electronics round, chemicals, fertilizers, and fuel is starting to get up there. Chemicals is dropping. It's not as bad. And then in terms of exports, are we seeing clothing go out? Not at all. Why are we not seeing clothing going out? Is it just because we don't have... So this warehouse is this one. So it should really... It is over. So it can certainly now move clothing, right? We just don't have enough... We just don't have enough people or enough vehicles. So I might have another look at this and build a bigger facility. But these, I mean, look at this. This is full. We just need to export more. We can export more. We can export more. So let's have a look at that. If we were to build a bigger facility, maybe something like here. Or even on this side. Actually, maybe if we just do those, that's actually going to be more than this one. Maybe we just supplement it with an extra one instead of it running. Yeah, so this is going to export some food for us at... Wow, oh, the value of it is very low. That's the issue. That's the issue. The value over here is much better. So let's just build an extra one over here for the time being. If we go distribution... do a small one. Yeah, we're definitely not going to need a big one here. I'm kind of tempted to just do that. We don't need to check clothing anywhere else, really. So let me do that. Put that in place. Build it. Buy its vehicles. So this one will be, we'll rename this to food, not food, clothing export. Clothing exports. And we'll get a couple of vehicles. Covered hulls, please. Sorry, covered hulls. 1, 2, 3. Let's start off with 3. You are gonna, we'll pause it. You're gonna load up here if it is more than 20%. And we're gonna take you to the border to unload. Okay, so that's it. So you should straight away do your thing. Straight away, we should see lots of exports doing its thing. Okay, now, this is clothing export. There we go. Like it. I like it. I like it. Okay, so that should help us a lot. Then this guy can drop that one. What we can do is we can rename this the clothing warehouse. Clothing warehouse. Oh, hang on. I think we finished a piece of research. Clothing warehouse. This doesn't, this is the fabric warehouse. You do probably need an area in front of it. Otherwise, we're going to end up with multiples. And this is the food and alcohol warehouse. Hang on. Alcohol warehouse. There we go. Now it should be a little easier for us to identify where it's picking stuff up. Yeah, food and alcohol warehouse. Okay, that's looking good. Can't export, right? Yeah, so we're doing more food than we can use. So let's drop that down to, say, 30 people. Just keep it, I just want to keep an eye out, get a bit of a balance going. This should be okay. And then hopefully we'll export a reasonable amount. So now money should start looking a little bit better. We finished off some research, which was the party member stuff. So cars for most loyal citizens. Versus education for most loyal citizens. I'm going to pause that on that a little bit, and let's get fire prevention at industry. So we reduce those odds there. Concrete is almost done. What we can probably start having a look at is that secret police station. So crime and justice, secret police, small secret police, I think is what I'm after. So, are we doing it right here? Actually, can we do it right there? I think this is a good spot for it, actually. So let's pause it, get rid of this. Yeah, let's do that. Get that connected there. Now it should be able to use this facility here. Let's unpause it. And let's make sure to, if we were to say run it like that, and like that, it should have workers straight away. Good, that should be fairly useful. So let's do that. Let's do this, get this one built. Oh, did our exports look pretty good? Oh, look at that. Exports last month. I'm going to have a look at that now. That is awesome. Now, I'm not going to drop stuff off here. It should have access to everything it needs there. Now, we do need people, but we also need some vehicles. I'm just going to go with these. So let's just grab like 3 of them. We should have people coming to work here straight away. Got some secret agents doing its thing. Okay, now, so the issue now, we should have biological waste being generated, right? Where? Like here. So where is it taking biological waste? Do we have a place? So biological waste is not assigned to anywhere. So why are we not... I thought we were seeing biological waste being generated through edification, right? I'm very sure I saw it somewhere. It shouldn't be dumping biological waste anywhere. Okay, still missing biological waste then. There we go. Is there a little bit in there? Oh, here we go. Oh, here you can see it. Okay, so we're just not generating enough biological waste for it to actually start to feature. Yeah, there you can go and see it. Okay, that's fine. That is fine. It's not just generating enough though. Okay, so now we'll start seeing government loyalty play a bit of a role. It's good. We should have workers everywhere we need them. But a reasonable unemployment rate. Would like it to be a little bit higher. We're starting to see a little bit of problems on this, is it? So who can't get here? They can. Everybody should be able to get here. Okay. One more thing. How many free flats do I have? Let's have a quick look at that. Still a little bit here, still a little bit there as well. So we're still doing reasonably well, but we don't want to stop that at all. So I'm kind of tempted to get maybe another one planned out here somewhere. So if we go another one of these. That should be pretty good. So we'll get 2 more planned in over there. Actually, that looks reasonably good. And we'll try that one in there. Try that one like so. That's okay. We'll just leave that in there just to make sure that we've got room for a few extras should we need them. Research program is finished. Okay, now we've gone through the concrete piece, right? So what does that mean for us? Oh, it's this one. Prefab panels construction. So we'll make a start on that. Prefab panels construction. I don't think we can build this one yet. No, we cannot. We still need that research to finish off. We are going through our crops really quickly. But we're still holding. And maybe what we need to do is up our fertility to 100%. Okay. Just to make sure that that we keep fertilizing. Keep fertilizing. It's dropping a little bit. This is going well. And one last thing I wanted to check is we had a very good export last time around. So let's quickly have a look at that and then we'll end off the episode. Okay, so have a look at that. Exports last month, 40K. Yeah, look at that. A couple of trucks of clothing, food. So last month, we did really well, apart from the fact that we then built something. So we're not quite covering our build costs, right? We are slowly hemorrhaging the money. But I think it's looking fairly healthy. And we'll get there. We're not too far off. Let's just see what else is here. That's the research there. And we did go and do the rest of that. Okay, good. Guys, I'm going to leave it there. That's the start of our construction kind of industry. I think it's looking pretty reasonable. We're going to have some distance to travel for our trucks to get here so that it's not kind of in the pollution zone for an expanded city on this side, because the Moilski, I'm sure, will grow into this side as well. At least somewhat. And that then we'll be able to start building a little bit more. This is still our access for rail. Whether we're going to do rail through here, maybe a little loop, maybe tram, I don't know. We'll keep an eye on how that looks in the future. But for the moment, that'll be it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed it, please hit that like button. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.